Welcome to the Statesboro Herald's 2014 Pigskin Pick'em, brought to you by Seasons of Japan Restaurant and Dr. Troy M. Lawhorn at Statesboro Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery and Dental Implant Center.
And welcome to week 13 of the Pigskin Pick'ems. I'm your host, Josh Aubrey, being joined as always by Statesboro Herald's Matt Yogus, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter. Let's get right into it. We have 4 college and 4 high school. We had to dig around, try to find some of these because Georgia Tech was off, Georgia Southern's off. Some of our area high school teams are not playing football anymore.
Georgia's off.
Georgia's off. Technically they're playing, but you're right. Let's begin with Appalachian State, a team we're quite familiar with, who have gotten a lot better since the last time Georgia Southern played them. They're going to Louisiana Lafayette, where they're a 10-point underdogs. Matt Yogus, your thoughts on this one? And if they were to pull the upset, hey, we all love App State, don't we?
Yeah, it's a funny thing. App State's sitting there thinking, okay, wait a minute. We beat Louisiana Lafayette. We get nothing. And Georgia Southern gets a Sun Belt championship. I don't know about that. So it's kind of fun. I like the way App State's playing now. I think Taylor Lamb's coming into his own. He's a good quarterback. They've been playing well. Cox, one of the better running backs in the league. App's really putting it together. They kind of figured out where everybody belongs. They're playing some freshmen, getting things gelling. So I like where App is, and I will take the Mountaineers to cover, if not win, on the road at the Raging Cajun. There's not a word that rhymes with that.
All right, Mike Anthony.
Well, this is a
Station, the Raging Cajun Station.
There you go.
This is a heated rivalry in the Southern Conference with Georgia Southern and App State. This year it's been kind of a sibling rivalry thing with both teams moving up. And you know what? No one can pick on App except for their brothers. Georgia Southern got them, but since then App's turned it on. They've been one of the hottest teams in the conference. Hopefully they can get some more cold weather. It seems to have worked at Georgia State. It worked against Arkansas State. I think Lafayette, they might manage to squeak this one out, but App State, they're going to come with everything they've got. They want to prove a point. They want to be like Georgia Southern and be able to boast of a 500 or better record in their first year at FBS. They find a way to at least keep it close. Apple cover.
All right, Slick, what you got here?
I'll take Lafayette.
The man of little words is leading us all. I'm going to go ahead and join him and take Louisiana Lafayette to cover the 10 at home. I do think App has been playing a lot better, but I'm taking them. And we got App by Mike and Matt. ULL the rest of the way. Georgia State getting 40 and a hook at Clemson. Clemson kind of been a little up and down this year. Georgia State have had moments where they played okay and covered a few games that you may not have thought they would. This one 40 and a half at Clemson. Matt, your thoughts?
Here's the thing about Georgia State. They were in ball games early because they have some talent. They're not a horrible football team, despite the fact that they've never won an FBS game in their program's history. But, you get into that mindset where if I play my hardest, I'm going to lose by 3. That happened against ULL. That's happened several times this year. So if they get down early, it's over. It was the same thing against Georgia Southern. It's going to happen against Clemson. Clemson goes up 14 real quick. Georgia State says, I'm not even going to bother trying because we know we're going to lose no matter what. Clemson covers the 45.
Mike.
I would agree with you if not for the fact that Deshaun Watson's still injured. I don't think he's going to play. Even if he's healthy enough to go, he probably won't go against Georgia State. That means that Clemson has just as good a chance of throwing touchdown passes to Georgia State as they do to themselves. So Georgia State thoroughly overmatched, but they get a couple of defensive stops, they air it out late, and they cover that 40 and a half.
Eddie. Uh-oh, you talked him out of it. You pick Clemson. You're not
I've
the
got
state
Clemson on my
one.
list here. I'll stay with Clemson. That quarterback they have is so
We're rooting for Clemson because if Georgia State would win this game, we might all be done.
They're not going to win this game.
I don't think that Jim Healy would.
They're
like
not
that
going to
too
win
much.
this game, but I see it being something like a 50-14. I think they've managed to eke out the cover, but not win the game. So I'm taking Georgia State.
The backdoor 40-point.
And Yogus is going with Clemson. Mike's going with Georgia State. And Eddie's going with Clemson. All right, going over to the University of Georgia. They don't have an off week, but they kind of do. They're hosting Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern started out the year 7-0 in FCS, but this is quite a step up. And they just found out that Gurley's done with his knee injury, but they still have Chubb, and they still have a lot of offense there. Your thoughts, Matt Yogus, on Georgia hosting Charleston Southern?
I live in Statesboro, Georgia, so I know better than most that the under center triple option is absolutely unstoppable. I'm pretty sure when Georgia Southern ran it, they never lost a game. So I'm taking Charleston Southern to beat Georgia by 30.
Well, of course you are.
You're taking them to cover. Next, Mike.
By 75.
Georgia, much better team than Charleston Southern. That said, they're going to be too busy watching the scoreboard, seeing what Missouri's up to. They're not going to risk overusing Nick Chubb because now they don't have a dependable third option. A lot of dinged up running backs behind him. No Gurley for the rest of the year. They're going to get everybody out of there by halftime. This one's over early, but Charleston Southern hangs around. Just like Georgia State, they score late and cover.
Eddie.
Georgia. I'll take Georgia in this one.
All right, I think I'm going to go with the other two boys and go with Charleston Southern to find a way to keep it close. I definitely don't think they're going to win, but I do think it's going to be. And we talked Mike into 45 here because he was going to make it a little bit less than that. Eddie's the lone UGA.
Yeah, we set the spread ourselves, so I should have made it 7.
That's right. All right, let's move on to the last college pick. We have Tennessee. Found out some bad things this week. Will it play a factor? They are giving 3.5 to Missouri. Missouri's got to make the road trip to Knoxville. Your thoughts, Matt Yogas?
Missouri's ranked. They're leading the SEC East, and they're underdogs against Tennessee. What a disaster that side of the conference is.
All right.
I'll take Missouri because, like you said, Georgia's going to be scoreboard gazing, and that might help me get that spread covered against Charleston.
Mike.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say that that's a smell game.
Yes.
That's a smelly line.
That's right.
Usually I'd agree with you, but I think I know why it smells. Tennessee got a new quarterback in there last week. They rolled up a bunch of points. That has everybody way too confident in their ability to do it again. Missouri has tape on them, though. They're going to defend it a lot better than Kentucky did. Missouri wins this one going away.
So 2 Missouri so far. Eddie.
I'll take Missouri.
All right, I guess I'm going to be the lone guy to go with the Volunteers.
Run with the smell.
Find a way to
Win by 4?
to win by more than 3.5. All right, so Mizzou for everybody else. We got high school action. Screven County had an eke one out there last week. This week they are giving 4 points. All right, well, we got Screven County giving 4 to Heard County. Your thoughts, Matt Yogas?
The road favorites, the Fighting Burton Kemps get it done.
All right, we got
But
one Screven.
they're at home.
Oh,
They're not on the
Yeah,
road.
they were the 1 seed.
oh, then they're going to win by 40.
Yeah.
All right,
And that's
Mike.
part of the reason why these might be 2 evenly matched teams, not so much in the records. Screven 10-1, Heard County 6-5, although in a bit tougher region. However, Heard County is going to spend about 5 hours on a bus. I can't even locate it on a map. It's way out by Alabama, I believe. They're going to be a little bit road weary. Screven takes advantage. They score early. They hang on. They cover the 4.
All right, we got 2 Screvens.
Let's make it 3. That's good.
3 Screven. I'm going with Heard. I think that it is a long trip to make, but I think they've played pretty well. And Screven hadn't really had great competition that they've seen this year. So I heard, and then we got Screven, and Screven. Claxton giving 3 points as they open up. The single A, public, and private start getting things underway. Claxton is hosting Dooley County and giving 3. Matt.
Zacchaeus Grant and the Claxton Tigers get it done.
Zach Grant is he's a game changer. Their first game of the year, they lose to a better team without him. When he was injured, they couldn't do anything against Calvary Day. With him in the lineup, they're a threat to go 80 yards at the drop of a hat. It's going to be amped up in the Pecan Grove, their first home playoff game in 13 years. Claxton finds a way to move on.
Eddie.
I'm sorry, but I can't disagree. I got to go with Claxton also.
All right, we're going with
Apology accepted.
a sweep here. Everybody going with Claxton
Sorry, Tigers.
in the Pecan Grove.
The Statesboro Herald seal of death applies to them.
So we can count them out for this. All right, Jenkins County got in. We've seen them play a couple times this year. 21.5-point underdogs as they have to travel to Hawkinsville. I believe they're the Red Elephant, the Red something's there. Hawkinsville.
They might be. They might be. It sounds right.
All right, Matt Yogas, let's go with that.
Hawks would make more sense, but we don't know. 21.5 is probably about right. I don't know anything about Hawkinsville. But
They're really good.
I've seen Jenkins. That's a big spread, but I think I'm going to take Hawkinsville. They're at home. Jenkins kind of in the playoffs by the skin of their teeth.
Mike.
It's actually Gainesville that's the Red Elephants.
Ah,
just so
you got me on that. You're
But
right.
still don't know what Hawkinsville is.
They're the Hawks. They have
Jen-
Hawks, right?
I know they're red. I'm pretty
Jenkins
sure.
County, though, a new coaching staff coming in this year, they've totally turned things around. This was one of the worst teams in the public school of GHSA Class A last year. So great strides in 1 year. Unfortunately, I think they got a little bit of a raw deal with the seeding and who they have to play. Jenkins County, great season. Come back next year. Hopefully you get a team other than Hawkinsville. Not going to happen this week. Hawkinsville big.
Eddie.
Well, I got to pick somebody different, so I'll pick Jenkins County.
Okay, Eddie going with Jenkins County in this one. I'm going with Hawkinsville as well. Pretty good program. They've had a great year this year. Good year for Jenkins County though, and Eddie is the only one going with
I'm just trying to make it interesting.
the Eagles. Oh yeah, he's got the big lead. Who cares? He's got this thing
It'll either
wrapped
be
up.
interesting or a total farce next week.
All right, wrapping things up, we have ECI. They're giving 7.5, even though they're going on the road to Mount Zion. ECI's been playing well. They got a kind of a tough draw as far as having to go on the road. Matt, your thoughts on this one?
I think ECI is going to win the game. I don't think they're going to win it by 7.5. I'll take Mount Zion.
All right, Mike.
ECI, I think they have the benefit of playing in one of the toughest regions in Class A. The only reason they're down as low as they are, they had to play Calvary Day in the championship. They got knocked around there. That's going to leave them a little angry. They were the 8th seed before some rearranging of the brackets made them the 9th seed. That's what has them going on the road. That's what makes them even angrier. They get all that aggression out on Mount Zion, and they cover the 7.5.
All right.
I'll take ECI also.
All right, 3 with ECI. At least we didn't put the whammy on them thanks to Matt Yogus. So we have ECI for everybody except Yogus, who's going with Mount Zion. All right, so that'll wrap it up for this week. For Matt Yogus, Mike Anthony, and Eddie Ledbetter, I'm Josh Aubrey. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again next week.